Welcome back, guys, to another great podcast. We're in for a good one today, guys. Today, we're going to be sitting here with a legend, honestly. A woman who, if she was active today, she would have an Instagram, and it would be full of war-ravaged soldiers and photos of, like, really sad prisons.
Oh, sensational.
Sensational. She's an activist, she's a reformer, a nurse, and apparently a certified badass.
Wow.
We got Dorothea Dix, man. Thanks for joining us, Dorothea.
All right.
Yay. Throw it in here. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
150 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Welcome to Back to Earth.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you for resurrecting me. This is wild.
Omar dug you up, and we got it.
Okay.
That's Omar.
Hi,
Hello.
Omar.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Eric. Yeah.
Hi, Mary.
And I'm Jake.
Nice to meet you,
Thanks
Jake.
for joining us
Thank
today.
you so much for having me.
Of course.
This is weird. I must confess. The world seems a little bit different now. Seems better. There've been some improvements.
Definitely a little better.
What kind of improvements in the mental health fields? Anything you can think of?
Yeah.
Every state
That's,
is doing something
Yeah.
small here or there. They have
yeah.
new facilities being built. We don't look as down on people now with the mental health as they
Yeah.
did in the
I
1860s.
mean, don't call them insane or whatever. You got,
Oh, okay.
lunatics.
Lunatics.
Yeah. None of that. I won't say that. Yeah.
But
So I see the matching.
Oh.
It says nursing. Are you nurses? Are you male nurses?
we're on our way to
school.
being male nurses.
Yeah.
Or
We just call them nurses now.
Yeah.
You
We're
know,
not male, nurses.
female.
Yeah.
We're all just nurses doing our part
Yeah.
to help
that's
the public.
that's a thing.
Yeah.
It is
Not
thing.
a
No, it's
not a
not weird.
punishment. Not a
Well,
No, you go
No,
through
it's-
punishments to get there. You
we're-
know,
Sorry.
okay.
some of the class work feels like a
Yeah,
punishment
it does,
sometimes,
yeah,
but
yeah. I mean,
but overall, no, we are paying
yeah.
to become nurses.
You're paying your own money.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
tuition,
yeah.
a lot of tuition.
So
Yeah,
men
the government. Yeah, so-
men are nurses now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
and
for
that's
real.
not frowned upon or
No,
looked down
no,
upon.
Not
It's,
cool.
bad.
huh?
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah. Time to
Good.
change.
It's a
Good.
great
Yeah.
take.
Okay,
I'm so happy that we're here now.
I like it.
All right, let's get right into it. Huh?
Let's get right into it.
Yeah.
Omar, start us off.
All right. Yeah.
They say that you got the nickname Dragon Dix when you were running the Union during the Civil War. Can you expand on that?
My goal was to uphold the moral and professional character of the women, that were in the Union. And I took steps to ensure that we were taken seriously. I required everyone to wear brown. Everyone matched and looked the same. No makeup, no jewelry. This wasn't a performance. We weren't out there looking for husbands or men. We had a job to do, and I wanted us to be taken seriously so that we could evolve into the kind of organization that I was hoping.
Yeah, but I mean that kind of sounds more like a funeral than a battlefield. I mean, you guys are all wearing brown, and it's I mean that's great. But were you trying to protect them? I mean, the soldiers are kind of crazy, a little feral. What were you trying to?
I mean, it was a funeral for a lot of
Yeah,
people.
I mean, like a fashion.
In all
thing.
seriousness,
Yeah,
though, nursing wasn't thought of as a profession or like a career choice. We weren't taken seriously. There were a lot of physicians and doctors that openly disowned us and said, we don't like what they're doing. They're not contributing anything. They're not one of us. They're not physicians. So I mean, it was an uphill battle, and I felt that those were necessary steps in order to prove that we did have something to offer. We were we played an integral role in battlefield medicine, and to be taken seriously.
On the Union side in the Civil War, you were officially the superintendent of nurses, the Army nurses. So you were the big boss over all these ladies out on the battlefield nursing. And everybody remembers Miss Clara Barton. They called her the angel of the battlefield. She was running around with supplies and volunteering here and there. Do you ever feel like Miss Barton was running around unchecked, getting all the battlefield glory when it was really your work that really helped get the Union
Listen,
to the winning side?
there's professionalism right? And then there's impulse. Miss Barton was doing what she thought was best. She tried, and her contribution, in my opinion, lacked the necessary framework to really make, an immediate impact as well as a lasting impact, and to kind of have that snowball effect of change. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, she was doing what she thought was best. But for me personally, I feel like by setting an exceedingly high standard and requiring, health, maturity, commitment to service, taking that job seriously, as being part of the union, we were viewed as true medical workers that were making, having a really big impact, not as objects of controversy or, as you said, angels of the battlefield. That was never my goal.
That makes sense. You had to protect the brand. Like if you get too flashy, the focus shifts, and then the whole thing falls apart. Speaking of the things falling apart, you started the whole movement not by going to Harvard, but by teaching Sunday school in jail at East Cambridge. You go from teaching kids to seeing people in cages, naked, covered in shit. Was there a specific moment where you were like, is this one bad apple, or is the whole orchard gone to hell?
Those conditions that people were living in was just absolutely devastating. You had regular, everyday people that were seemingly struggling with some sort of mental illness being confined with just regular old criminals, Excuse me. These people didn't do anything wrong. They just had some sort of mental affliction that the world viewed as no different than being a criminal. They were abused. They were caged. They were subject to these horrible restraints. Absolutely devastating.
It's insane.
Yeah, insane. So your take with the politicians, you going in there and you're shaming them. You're saying, hey, this isn't okay. We're seeing people in the basement tied up and naked and covered in shit. And and I saw it with my own eyes. And what are you going to do about it? Right?
Yeah, more or less. That's exactly what I did. I shamed the bigwigs. Excuse me. I might have had a slightly different vocabulary, more or less. My goal, and what I successfully did, was to convince 30 different states to, expand hospitals for the mentally ill.
Yeah, great.
30 states? Did that in 30 states. That's a lot of hospitals in a lot of states. But I got to ask you, you had this huge idea, the bill for the benefit of the insane. That was your bill. And you were like, let's take this federal land and sell it and use that money to build mental health facilities that would help people everywhere. And it passed in Congress.
Yep.
It made it through Congress and got to President Franklin Pierce's desk, and then he just gave it the middle finger.
He did.
Oh.
The failure of that federal bill was really a disappointment. And I think it showed the people that our leaders in power chose to wash their hands of all of it. Ignorance is bliss. They don't want to know what's going on. They don't want to see it. They don't want to be responsible for it. And if they're not forced to address that, they can just pretend it doesn't exist. They blamed it on a matter of constitutional interpretation BS. He drank himself to death, and no one's ever heard of President Franklin Pierce since.
You're right. I never heard of him. The constitutional stuff is tough. At the very end of your life, you retired to a private suite inside New Jersey State Hospital in Trenton, right?
I did. That was, the Trenton Hospital was like my first baby, my firstborn child. And I chose to continue to live there and work, carry out my vision for things. And I did that until my death.
So you're saying you just built this whole world, this office, and you like live there, and so like to check on the night staff, you're still working, everybody's there, it's almost like I don't know, your own world. This is me. I created this. This is just.
I mean, how else am I going to keep some sort of nurse ratchet from working there? In all seriousness, though, do you guys know that film One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, that was filmed at the Oregon State Mental Hospital, right?
Yeah, it was.
Which I very much opposed the opening of. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Oh, yeah.
I
There's been
did.
some horrible things there since.
You
You want to tell us about that? How you opposed it?
I
What
mean,
was that like?
I respected Dr. James Hawthorne. Wonderful man. Got along with him great. We had a similar sort of vision. He ran that place seamlessly. It was private. It was thriving. And then...
But that was the one in Portland, right?
Yeah.
Before he went down to Salem, he was
Correct.
killing it up in Portland.
Yes, that was the one
Okay.
in Portland. And I kind of feel like Oregon just wasn't ready to run one on their own, if that makes sense. I don't think they were prepared for that. And it turned out I was right. Within the decade, just 10 years, there were numerous issues coming out of the hospital, abuse allegations. It was just embroiled in scandal. And it turns out that they were marketing the end of moral treatment for the mentally insane at that hospital. Yep.
That doesn't say mistakes. You really knew what you were talking about. Speaking of mental health, of a couple years ago, we had the 1-800 suicide number. The 1-800-27. I can't really remember the rest
I
of
can't
it.
remember it.
It was like dialing a secret government code just to get help. Now they got the 988. 3 simple digits. When you look at that, shift from a long password to just 3 numbers. Does that feel like a small victory for the federal efficiency, or does it make you mad that it took over 150 years to get a phone number people can actually remember?
I mean, can be two things at once, right? The country coming together like that, creating that 988 number, that's a victory, as a nation for everyone. There's no doubting that. The fact that it took 150 years, not ideal, but better than nothing. My whole goal was to make mental health care accessible to anyone that needed it, and make sure that people seeking out that health care were getting, effective, congruent, successful mental health care. That was really, my passion, and it sounds like things have been moved in that direction significantly, which is awesome to hear.
Yeah, we'd like to talk with you all night. This is fascinating stuff, and we really appreciate you coming back to talk to us. I think we all had a pretty good time, and can't
Thank
wait
you
for
for
to do it again.
resurrecting me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
been
yeah.
a blast.
Thank you for letting us
All right.
resurrect you.
Yeah, yeah.
On this week's episode
Yeah,
of Resurrection. We're really happy that we could have Miss
Yeah.
Dorothea Dix here.
Yeah, give it up for her. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to have you.
Thank you.
Whew.